Page 29, House of the Rising Sun. Let's look this piece over. It's a 1 page long, treble and bass clef, 1 sharp in the key signature. However, now that we're also doing minor scales, and since there is a major scale and a minor scale with the same key signature, now we have to look a little deeper, because the key signature will tell you one of 2 scales. You got to figure out which one it is. So we can look a little deeper. And I typically will look at the end of the piece first, because most pieces, not always, but most pieces will end on their 1 chord. So what is the chord in the last measure? Well, we hear, but the measure before that is here. And that is an E minor chord, so I figure this is an E minor. And since we're studying E minor, it makes sense. Now when I do the scales, I do the scales for the key signature. So I'll do the G major scale because it's got 1 sharp, and the E minor scale because it has 1 sharp. I do both scales now. Just run through them, practice them, do what I say in the videos. Make sure you're focusing though when you do the scales. Don't just mindlessly go up and down, okay, I'm done. That's a waste of time in my opinion. Really focus on what you're doing with the hands and the fingers and the notes and the whole bit. Anyway, back to the sun thing. 3/4 time we have a pickup beat. We're coming in on beat 3. So the first 2 beats are at the bottom, the half note. Let's take it 1 hand at a time, make sure we understand what the hands are doing. The right hand starts here, 3rd finger. Basically, it's just the fingering for an E minor scale. 3 and 1 and 2, thumb. So that's the fingering for the scale. So we're doing it here. And then you have a bunch of rests, so the second line you're here. 3, 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Then reach up here too. If your hand's too small to reach that, you gotta move. But if you can, reach it. We just changed hand positions. Measure 12. 1 and 2 and 3 and. The 8th note is on the and of 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and. So measure 13 is 1, 2, 3, and then cloud. So much for that. Left hand. It starts out up here. It's an E. And it's an E minor scale going down. We just don't go all the way down. That's fine. 1, 2, 3, 1. So that's the fingering for an E harmonic scale. 1. And then the measure 5, just broken chords. Rest. Then the 5/7 chord. Okay, measure 9. Measure 10. Just come down. Just reach down. Not really moving the hand. Just reach down. We come up to G major. So G major and E minor, they're relative, they're related by key signature, so you might go back and forth when you get these pieces. Now we're in G major. And then measure 13, we're coming back to E minor. Last line, measure 17 is here. And just reach down, see the thumb's on a B, just reach down here, and then bring the thumb down 1. So, and crunch up. Here. Okay, put the hands together. Well, the first line is just 1 hand and then the other. So let's start with the pick up to measure 5. Second line, you're here. 1 and 2 and. Make sure those 8th notes are by themselves. The left hand has a rest. Again. 1 and 2 and 3. Measure 8. I have a tendency to use 3rd finger on that because it's easier to reach than 2. And I just reach up with a little finger. Nothing wrong with that. I just find it a little easier to use 3rd finger and then reach up. Anyway, you put the hands together and then go back over it a few, however many times, and slowly take out the hesitation. So it's a steady beat, nice and slow, and then we'll think about the articulation. And this is connected. You have this connected. Lift lift up, just like taking a breath. Lift up, connect the melody. Lift up. Again, it's like taking a breath. So lift up between the phrases, otherwise you connect it. Of course, you got to lift up for the rest. Then the dynamics. MP at the beginning is mezzo piano, that's sort of soft, whatever you think medium soft is. Not soft, just sort of soft. And then pick up to measure 5. Now go up to moderately loud. Mezzo forte. The left hand's got to be soft. That's pretty much it for the just boring. Well, once you get into the music and you understand it and you're feeling it and you're not struggling with notes and rhythms and all, then you can adjust that dynamic. You get a little louder and softer as you feel it. Just stay in the moderately loud area. That's interpretation. How do you feel the music? Some people never get to the feeling part. They're too busy with the notes and rhythms. Unless they sort of got that worked out, then they go on. And in my opinion, they miss out on most of what music is actually about, and that's the feeling part. Speed, how fast do you want the melody go? I'm sure there's words to this. There's none in this arrangement, but I'm sure there is. So how fast would a person sing it? I don't know how fast it is. That first line, you see at the end of the first line, there's a double bar. That's a section. You end one section, start another. So you're starting the introduction's the first line. And that last measure of the introduction, two counts in it. But then going into the song on the second line, that's a pickup beat. But again, the bottom measure has 2 counts in it. It all works out. They've added pedal at the end, the last bit. I disagree. I would not add pedal there. So I would scratch that out. In my opinion, you do not use pedal on this piece. Play it all alone. I'm not going to add pedal at the end in this kind of music. Please don't copy me. You need to get in and feel this music yourself. I feel at the end of this getting a little softer. I brought it down a little bit. That's just what I felt. I felt it, I played it that way. If I felt a retardando there, I could slow down too. There's nothing marked, so I don't have to, but if I felt it, I would do it. And that's interpretation. So everybody might play it a little bit differently, even though they're playing the same music. Remember the natural accents. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2 at the beginning. Go to here. Go to here. That's what we want to feel. Otherwise, the person thinks the first note you played is it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it isn't. So in measure 5, our pickup is to here. Feel that. So I'm exaggerating them so you can hear them better, but you just want to feel these. Let's play this together slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do any louds and softs. I'm just going to play notes and rhythms. That's it. So I'll give us 2 counts because we come in on beat 3. Remember, this is after you've learned it and you're ready. No hesitations or nothing. Ready and go and 3. 1 and 2 and. 1 and 2 and. wrist.